Hello, welcome back to my channel, and this is my third podcast of the day. And this time I'm going to talk about something very unusual and different. So, I'm going to talk about the wars that are happening across the world, be it the Russia Ukraine war or the Iranian war with the America and the regional conflict that are going on. And we have seen that there were several developments that happened, and after that what we get, that peace treaty being signed, several players come into the picture, they try to negotiate, then there happens the negotiation, then renegotiation, and the things keep on going the same way again and again, but the conclusion is something that we are not getting out of it. The problem is why this is happening, because of which the entire globe is getting impacted. Inflation, poverty, or the joblessness, the fear of the job security is all there. And if you think more critically and you wanted to understand about more about it, then you will find out there are a lot of factors that is being influenced this war, and a lot of money, people, and things getting involved. Starting from the situation, the power and control governance of America, they wanted to keep themselves to be at the top of it. On the other hand, the China is the one who is doing his all the efforts, try to make sure that the entire economy will be shifted towards the China, the global economy that I'm talking about. Other end, the Gulf countries, who are the sole and whole producer of oil, they wanted to run the world according to their will. Apart from that, there is a Russia, the Soviet. They wanted to also get into the power. They wanted to again create the Soviets that earlier they were. Now there are so many regional players, or the players that are emerging nowadays. European Union is the one who try to unite and run the world according to their way. The Trump is, someone that nobody can ever predict that he is the one who is going to do a lot of these bigger changes. Other hand, if you think about from the Asian perspective, you will find the India also try to create the dominance in the world, and also try to put a lot of pressure, whatever resources they have in their hand. Now, considering these emergence of so many economies and the countries where they wanted to get ahead of the other countries, this started creating conflict. Apart from that, now what we are started noticing is that many conflicts are just to deviate the attention of the world. So let's say that recently we saw that there was a Epstein file that was being so much openly being available on the internet, and people were talking about it. Suddenly the conflict started, and now if you think of that, nobody is talking about it. Everyone is talking about the Iran and the Israel conflict, Mossad and all. Before that, if you think of go back a little bit, you will find out that the Hamas was the one who has been capturing a lot of things, the missiles being sent. I think the situation was totally different. Before that, if you think that there was a COVID and the entire world was locked out inside their home, considering that what was the situation, you have no idea why this has happened, how this started, how that got stopped. No one has any clue. People talk about the vaccines and all. The companies came into the picture, the big companies who got a lot of benefit out of it. Any so if you see this chain of series, you will find out that there are a lot of events that are being planned, and they comes into the pictures, and they work accordingly. And in the world which is being led by the big guys that we are not aware of, like the Blackstone and all these companies. Blackstone or BlackRock, I have no idea about it, but I have heard somewhere. What they do is they try to keep control of everything whatsoever is happening across the world, because this world need to be run, and who is running it, I don't know. I'm talking about people, not about the spiritual power and all, because I'm not going into that discussion in this one. Now, what they try to do is they try to influence economies, government, and mobilize the masses to create a protest, threats, and what we call it, the fight between the internal country, the regional conflict, or I think I'm not getting the right word of about it, but I'll think that. self well okay, I'll try to narrate that what I wanted to share. When people of the same country fight with each other, that is internal conflict, that I would rather term it. So this is what people try to do. We have seen the similar kind of situation in Nepal, where later on the government been thrown out of the power. People called them as the regional protest or the Gen Z protest. And what happened eventually? The new prime minister has been placed over there. He's taking a lot of decisions. The same thing happened in Sri Lanka, where again the protest started and things got changed. The government changed, and the similar thing that has been started in India. But many people will say that okay, it's chain of event, it's a similar kind of things that are place going happening in one country by another country. But on the other hand, if you see, the government structure might be because of the good lack of governance, these parties get involved. In India, that you have seen, the CJP is the one who is continuously getting support from the locals and Gen Z, and suddenly they hit their a magnificent follower count on the social media. But on reality, I am not sure that how much people are will really wanted to associate themselves with this party. But on social media, a majority of people supported the initiative that they have done. Well, the things are on the right track or a wrong track, nobody is aware of. But the one thing is certainly there is that there are many people in this world who influence a lot of things. We try to talk about very small things. If you go back to my previous podcast, I talked about hypnosis and hypnotism. But if I say that whether this is a bigger hypnotism, I would rather not to say the word hypnotism, but the series of events, the manipulation, the number play, and how which person hold what power, and how we can put a trap on that person. We have seen that. That's how I think that everyone is connected with the some other big power, and there is someone who is controlling everything. Recently you have seen that despite being all the conflict, all the situations that are happening across the world, the Elon Musk is the one who become trillionaire. In fact, if you combine the wealth of rest of the five or six individual, again people cannot go to that trillionaire number. And how this is going on, right? And how the one person who has done a simple job, like he created a Tesla, and everybody knows this, what Tesla does, and the EVs and the rocket launcher. There are so many people who do it, but those who are not gaining that kind level of traction, is a kind of strategy or the plan thing that they have developed for Elon Musk. I would say that it could be possibility, because every year or every decade there is one new person comes into the picture who try to create this kind of image. When I was a kid, or when I was in my younger days, I saw that the Bill Gates is the one who is being popularized among all of the younger kid or the kids at that time. There is a concept of asking like, do you know who is the richest person? And somebody will say, yeah, we know that's the Bill Gates. So everybody is fantasized by that Bill Gates. But I think but what if I somebody say that what he does, then we can say that okay, he produces a Windows software, and the software is so much popularized, and in fact in every one's computer you will find Windows, and that is one of the coolest invention of the history. That's how we can compute. But what about Tesla? Is self-driving car? Have you ever seen any self-driving car yet? No. Have you seen any I'm talking about masses, yani so many cars being there. Or have you ever seen the lot of Teslas in India? No. Have you seen the cars that are better than Tesla? Answer would be probably yes. Have you seen the ships, the rocket and the launchers being there? Obviously, India does it so much cheaper rate. If we put that level of technology, we will get the better result than Elon Musk. And these are all the things that already been done there. But how the one person is becoming a trillionaire? Again, the question in the mind of everyone. Well, whatever has happened, it will be happened, and we don't have any control of it. But now what we have to do is we have to think about what we thought about anything. Are our thoughts being manipulated by the things that we see with our eyes and ears, or we listen from our ear? If that is the case, I think that we need to think more critically about the things that are happening.